Hello everyone. So today we're going to be working through a little mini sequence for hockey players or just athletes in general for some prehab, rehab for the inner groins to either prepare yourself over the weekend for games, tournaments coming up, or to just simply recover and maintain health in your legs and your hips. So the props we're going to need today is either a blocker, right, a hockey blocker, or just a yoga block. So once you have that set, go ahead and stand towards the front edge of your mat. Take your prop, your blocker, or your block in between your inner thighs, just a couple inches above your knees. And hug your inner thighs together. Walk your feet just a little bit closer, about 6 inches apart. And then make sure that the outer edges of your feet are parallel with another. Start by spreading your toes out wide on the floor. Open your feet, but relax your toes down. So just spread them wide without lifting them. And take your gaze forward. Lean back slightly like there's an invisible wall behind you. Lift your sternum and soften your shoulder blades down. Squeeze your block with your inner thighs as much as you can. Using your breath, inhale, sweep your arms up high to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Hinge from your hips and relax the weight of your head all the way down. Place your hands onto your shins. Inhale your spine halfway up and forward, monkey pose. Glide your shoulders towards your hips. Exhale, fold down, release. Let your arms, your head relax. Now hug the block. Inhale, stand arms high to the sky. Exhale, hands to heart center. We'll go 2 more rounds to warm up. Inhale, arms up high. Exhale, forward fold. Hinge and release. Hands to shins. Inhale, halfway lift. Monkey pose. Pull your chest forward. Lift your tailbone up slightly. Exhale, fold down. Inhale, stand arms high to the sky. Exhale, hands to heart. Lean your weight back slightly. Just a bit. There you go. One more time. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold down. Follow your range of breath. There's no rush. Inhale, halfway lift, monkey pose. Pull your chest forward. Exhale, fold down. Inhale, stand arms up to the sky. As you reach up, look up towards your hands. Exhale, fold right back down. Inhale, halfway lift, monkey pose. Pull your chest forward. Without looking back, exhale, bend your knees, plant your hands, and jump your feet back. Push a position. Good. Pause. Soften your face. And make sure that your shoulders stack directly over your wrists. So shift forward a little bit here, Eric. Good. Now squeeze your blocker with your thighs and soften your jaw. Look forward in front of your mat just a couple inches. Now pause here. Creating some heat, some stability at your legs and your inner thighs. Squeeze that block as much as you can, but keep your face soft. Navel to spine. Pull your front ribs into your back ribs just a little bit more. Hold right there. Breathing smooth and steady. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Using your breath. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, lower all the way down to the ground. Once you've lowered down, press the tops of your feet into the floor. Now keep a tight grip on your block. So squeeze your inner thighs into your prop. Press the tops of your feet down. And then slide your toes energetically back in space. Right? So spread your toes, reach them back. Hands next to your low ribs, spread your fingers wide. Now keep your legs active and strong the entire time. Inhale, low cobra. Pull your chest forward and up. Hug your elbows together. Exhale, gently release. So it's a small, medium lift. We'll go 2 more times. Inhale, low cobra. Draw your chest forward and up. Slide your toes back. Exhale, release down. Keep the feet on the floor. 1 more time. Inhale, low cobra. Heart forward, toes back. Squeeze your legs, squeeze your elbows. Exhale, release down. Hands under shoulders, tuck your toes. Squeeze your block. Navel to spine. Pull your belly button up away from the floor. Inhale, press high plank. Exhale, down dog. Hips up, chest back. Now bring a tiny, tiny bend in your knees to start. Small bend. Now squeeze your block. Relax the weight of your head down and breathe. Keeping a tight grip on your block, start to walk your hands back to your feet. Find a forward fold towards the back edge of your mat. And relax your skull all the way down, so your weight is in your feet. Hands to shins, inhale, halfway lift, monkey pose. Pull your chest forward. Exhale, fold down, let it go. Inhale, chair pose. Bend your knees, drop your hips, and take your arms up to the sky. And set your gaze straight forward. So even though you recognize that your body's working, you're bringing some heat, some fire, some energy to your inner legs and the rest of your body, keep your face soft and relaxed. like your face was in Shavasana, right? Zero effort, zero reaction. You could say that game face type of quality. Even though you're working here, you're putting that effort in, your face says otherwise. Hold here and breathe. Another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, stand, arms up high. Exhale, hands together in front of your chest. Good. Go ahead and take your prop, place it off to the side for right now, just for a moment. And keep it near, keep it close. Okay, feet hip distance, firm your thighs. Inhale, sweep your arms up high to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Hinge and release all the way down. Let your head rest. Let your neck soften. Hands to shins. Inhale, halfway lift, monkey pose. Exhale, fold down and ragdoll. Reach opposite elbows. Relax the weight of your head. And gently rock a little side to side. Very gentle right and left movement. I'm going to slow it down. Release your fingertips to the floor. Okay, now place your right hand down directly underneath your nose. So your hands forward in front of your feet, just about 5-6 inches. Take your left hand to your hip. Good. Now bring a medium-sized bend into your right knee. Straighten your left leg. Now before you go anywhere, lift your left toes up, just your left toes. Spread your toes wide. Using your lungs, inhale, pull your chest forward as much as you can go. Exhale, twist your chest up to the left. Keep your hand on your hip. And as you twist up, use your left elbow to guide the left side of your chest up. Guide the left side of your chest up. Good, right there. Firm your left leg more. Keep the left toes up and breathe. Getting a little IT band stretch in the right side. And if it's tough to get your hand or your fingers on the ground, you can always use your block or your blocker. Another deep breath in. Exhale, release your left hand down. Replace your right. Right hand to your hip. Bend your left leg. Straighten your right leg. Now before you go anywhere, lift your right toes up. Keep them up. Inhale, pull your chest forward like monkey pose. Create that space. Exhale, twist to your right any amount. And pause here. Continue to breathe. Use your right elbow as that guide to lift your right chest up even higher. And now soften your jaw, soften your tongue again. Shavasana in your face. Smooth, steady, consistent breath cycles. Another deep breath in. Exhale, release your hand down to the ground. Relax your skull, let both hands rest. Hands to shins, inhale, halfway lift, monkey pose. Exhale, downward facing dog. Walk your hands forward and keep your hips up. Inhale, your right leg up and back. Three-legged dog, reach up through your heel. Exhale, pigeon. Take your right knee to the floor outside of your right wrist. Right, and make sure your knee's a little bit wider than your hips. So stay up on your hands just for a moment. Right. And so Eric's working with a little bit of a knee injury today. So if you're working with any chronic knee pains, even if the hips are just a little bit tight today, you can always use your block or your blocker and place it under your front hip. So this block will go underneath his right hip. And now once you're set, slide your left leg back as far as you can go. Left leg back as far as you can go. Good. Right there, now pause. Keep a heaviness in your left leg as well for a sense of rooting, grounding. Now we're going to do a little shoulder stretch as you work into this pigeon. So tiptoe your right hand forward and thread the needle with your left arm. Slide your left arm underneath your right arm so your left shoulder comes down. And then bend your right arm and place your right hand under your left cheek, acting as a pillow. Relax your head down. Then once you're set there, set your face, that calm, confident demeanor, and breathe. Full inhales, complete exhales. And as you work into this hip stretch, use your breath to create this imaginary floating away of the hips. So as you breathe, your hips start to float away farther from your ribs. Just a couple more deep breaths, all the way in, all the way out. Slowly come back to center. Both hands down to the ground. Tuck your left toes under. Inhale, right leg up and back, three-legged dog. Exhale, right foot down to the ground. All right, let's get the other side. Inhale, left leg up and back, three-legged dog. Exhale, pigeon. Take your knee outside of your wrist, a little bit wider than your hip. If you use the block or the blocker on the other side, use it here. Just remain symmetrical, regardless if you have an injury on one side and not the other. Do the pose the same on both sides. Okay, now slide your right foot back any amount without causing strain. Heavy down to that right leg. And then tiptoe your left fingers forward. Give yourself some space. Thread your right arm underneath your left. Back of the right shoulder down. Use your left hand for your right cheek. And then turn your head to your left. And then once you set there, you can keep your eyes open, focused on one spot, or close your eyes. Now, oftentimes, it's a pretty intense hip stretch. So, regardless of what's going on in your hips, let them settle. Soften the reaction of holding onto the hip muscles, and bring your focus to your kidneys, your back bottom ribs, and encourage your breath to move into that space. Good. So you're not focusing on your hips. Your attention is more at your breath. Breathing through the back body, breathing through your ribs, letting the hips settle and stretch on their own. A couple more deep breaths. Really working on settling into gravity, using gravity as an assistant, as a prop. Okay, and slowly come back to your hands. Tuck your right toes under. Inhale, left leg up and back, three-legged dog. Exhale, left foot down to the ground, down dog. And good. Gently lower down to your hands and knees. And take a quarter turn to your right. So now you're using the long edge of the mat. And set up for frog pose. Walk your knees out as wide as you can go without letting your hips go farther forward than your knees. So keep your hips in line with your knees. And then idealistically, bring your legs to 90-degree angles. So where your knees are in line with your hips and your ankles are in line with your knees. Now curl your toes up. How's this feeling on your knee here? Okay? Right. And if you have a knee injury, you can go to child's pose. You just bring the big toes to touch, knees out wide. Yeah, so Eric's going to do child's pose just for today. Hips go back and then forehead stack under the hand. But if you are ready for frog pose, then you can lower down your forearm just like Garrett has. And now make sure you have posterior pelvic tilt. So pull your belly in. Front ribs to back ribs, and descend your tailbone down. Round your lower back. Press your lower back into my hand. Round your lower back, and without lifting your tailbone up, encourage your hips back as far as you can go without pain. Right? And this is not necessarily a comfortable stretch for most of our bodies. So allow yourself some time to just digest and breathe. Keeping in mind that nothing is permanent. And you also have the ability to hold this if you choose to kind of use that mindful breath and just let your hips melt open. So we'll hang out here for just a little bit. And again, maintain a focus on your breath opposed to what you're feeling in the stretch. Again, if there's pain or strain where your body says, no, this is no good, then come on out. Maybe take child's pose or just rest. Otherwise, continue to breathe. Palms flat to the floor. Curl your toes up towards your knees. Spread your toes wide. See if you can sink your hips back any amount. Breathe here. Okay, now we're going to stay in frog pose. So just remain here. But bring your heels just about 3-4 inches closer together. Just a couple inches closer together. Good. Pause there. Descend your tailbone. Round your lower back. Good. A little bit more. Yep. Puff up into the low back and then press your hips back any amount. And then again, pause. Notice the sensation. Notice what's going on in your hips. But don't dwell on it. Don't react to it. Focus on your breath all the way in, all the way out. Okay, now we've been here for a little bit. So moving slow. Nice and slow. Work your way back onto your hands and knees. And then take a seat facing forward. And sit on top of your block or your blocker. Yeah, so you can probably scooch back a little bit, Eric. That way they can see both of you. If you want to go in the middle of your mat, Garrett. Right there. And then once you're sitting on your block, creating a little lift for your hips, allowing some more space, bring your legs into Baddha Konasana. Soles of the feet to touch. Bend your knees out to the side and pull your heels towards your inner thighs as much as you can. Or your inner groins, you can say. And make sure your feet are touching and take your first 2 fingers and thumb. Hook them to the front, moving from the front side around your big toes. Yep, just like that. Flip the grip the other way. Yeah. So that you're pulling your toes open as you roll your elbows in. Then lift up on your toes, right, without jamming your toes. Lift up with your toes to broaden your collarbones. But keep the feet together. Good. Lift your sternum and glide your shoulders down. Eyes straight forward, focus on one non-moving spot. And then once you're set with your focus, just breathe. Right, so avoid forcing this stretch. Let this open up slowly, gradually, breath by breath, just feeling your knees get closer and closer towards the floor. Extend your knees down and back. Lift your chest forward and up. Soft jaw, soft tongue, and breathe. Okay. Keep the lift in your chest. Slowly release your toes and cross at your shins. Sukhasana or easy pose. And then once you're set here, we're going to finish up with a little eye practice, right? Stretching the eyes and the muscles behind them, especially working with that hand-eye coordination as a hockey goalie or any other type of athlete or human being, really. Hand-eye coordination is so important to our overall health. So take your hands into what's called Tona Mudra, where you interlace just the last two fingers. First two fingers and thumb are parallel. Then plug your thumbs right into the center of your sternum and rest your chin to that space between your first and your middle finger. All right, so this locks your head in place. So avoid moving your head side to side, up and down. Keep your head steady. Okay, now take your gaze straight forward just for a moment. All right, just gaze straight forward. And start by noticing what can you see without moving your eyes. Take a mental snapshot of everything that you can see. And then notice, how does it feel to just gaze straight forward? What's the physical sensation in your eyes, your skull? And then notice where your breath is at. What is the quality of your breath? Okay, now keep your head in the same position and stretch your eyes over to the right as far as you can go, looking out of the right corner of your eyes. Good, now keep that. And now stretching your eyes this way, notice what can you see? How does it feel? And where is your breath? Slowly bring your gaze back to center. Now stretch your eyes to the left. And again, that three-step observational process. What do you see? What do you feel? Where's your breath? Bring your eyes back to center and then look up, almost like you're looking up into your skull. What can you see? What does this feel like to look up? And has your breath changed? What's the quality of your inhale-exhale cycles? Okay, slowly come back to center. Now look just straight forward and notice if you can notice any difference with your ability to see straight forward and recognize everything around you with your proprioception now that you kind of stretch the eyes. Looking straight forward, can you see more? Okay, one last little bit. Now start to turn your eyes right to left as far as you can go, scanning the room horizontally as far as you can, all the way to the right, all the way to the left. And as you do this, again, what can you see? Can you make a mental snapshot of everything you can see in the room, in the moment? How does it feel to do that with your eyes? And make sure you're breathing as you do it. Okay, slow it down, come back to center. Now go up and down. Up and down. Nice and steady, smooth and slow. Okay. Make sure you're breathing. And come back to center, look straight forward. Now keep your eyes forward, keep your head neutral, relax your hands on your knees, palms up. And take a moment to just notice if anything has shifted in your ability to see more without actually moving your eyes. Because that hand-eye coordination is so important for hockey goalies, for any athletes in general, right? How do we use our eyes and how do we keep that calm demeanor on the face even though we're doing 5, 6, 7 things every couple seconds? Okay, now close your eyes. Let your face muscles rest and just take a moment here to pause. Connect to your breath. And just notice how you feel after your practice. From your feet all the way up to your head. How are you feeling? What's the quality of your breath after your practice? And take your hands together in front of your heart. Lift your sternum with a sense of love and respect. Namaste. Thank you guys for joining us today. I hope you found some of this information useful. If you guys have any questions or comments, let us know. Have a good one.